perspectives from the two history textbooks of how the war actually started. Now, on this assignment about Truman and MacArthur, you're going to look at the different views Americans had on a specific event within the Korean War when Truman fired General MacArthur. Make sure you read this paragraph here, and while you're doing this assignment, this central question should be in the back of your mind. How did Americans respond to President Truman's decision to fire MacArthur? 5 questions here. Make sure you answer them. Down here, it's going to say explain your answer and give evidence. Make sure you give evidence. You know how to cite your sources and paraphrase text and use direct quotes. Do that here. On this next part, you're going to practice more of your historical reading skills, sourcing, contextualization, and close reading. You just have to complete these sentences. You can click on the link here and it'll take you to the primary sources. This first one, document A, you'll use this in the last question that you answer on this page, but these questions, this is document B, that goes along with this table here. Document C, Elizabeth Wood, and right below it is document C, and you can see her name, Elizabeth Wood, is down there. After you're done reading those 2 documents, the cooperation or cross-check. Together, these 2 documents tell me that at this time, you just need to finish that sentence. For this part, source, position, evidence, you're going to look at, instead of just looking at the document now, you're going to look at the specific position that the person takes. One of those letters is going to support President Truman in his decision to fire MacArthur. The other one is going to say that it's not going to support President Truman. They're going to say that that was a bad decision. And so you want to give evidence, find evidence in these documents here. And down here, you're going to have a couple cartoons and the same thing. For the source on this part, you still need to find when it was written, or rather drawn, and you can find that information down here in this description part. So if you're having trouble finding any of it, read this information on the side here to figure out who it was drawn by. And the last part of the assignment, you are going to write 3 paragraphs describing the 2 different views Americans had and your own view on this event. As always, use the race method and make sure you're looking at the rubric, cite your sources. Your paragraphs are broken up right here. The first paragraph should be the view of Americans who supported President Truman's decision to fire MacArthur. The second should be the view of Americans who were against the decision to fire MacArthur. And the third is your own view. So after looking at all this evidence in these primary sources and looking at the cartoons, you need to come up with your own opinion on this thing. Some additional sources down here. MacArthur, really interesting guy. This is an awesome website about where in the world he was, and it follows him throughout his life. And so you can click on these over arrows here and you can actually track him as he grew up and what his military career was like. Just phenomenal military career.